Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. First of all, I want to express my sympathy to Lady Gabriella Windsor, appalling tragedy that has befallen her, and I do feel that her personal circumstances might have affected the energy that I was tapping into on Sunday. The terrible reading that I produced on Sunday that I did not upload. So that's the first thing I want to say. Second thing also seems to be chatter around the reason Prince William didn't show up at the memorial service yesterday was that one of the kids, one of the boys, hurt himself at school or got hurt at school. So that's the rumor that's going around, and that did show up in the reading that I did yesterday. There was a lot of children energy in that reading, and you can understand if maybe there was a little fight or something. Better to stay at home and deal with it and not tell the entire world. That's just my speculation, of course. So that's nothing to do with today's reading. Little pieces of news, I suppose you could call them, but today's energy feels a little better, and it feels better because there's a bit of comeuppance in the air, and that if you're on the side of justice anyway, and that is our theme for the day, comeuppance. And the first big news was that Prince Harry has lost his attempt at having judicial review of that Ravik decision to remove paid for security, 24/7 security by the Met Police for the Parkles. I think they also lost their IPP status at that time, although it's not really very clear. And it has been an interesting day because the judgment has come down. No, they're not going to revisit that decision. No need. It was done lawfully. It was rational. It did all the things it needed to do. All the right things were considered. Harry, of course, immediately came out and announced that he was appealing. Didn't want special treatment, but it was all terribly unfair and wrong and blah, blah. So here's appealing. Not very appealing in my eyes, but he is appealing. Surprise, surprise. What we did find out, some interesting things. First of all, he's known about this decision since the 1st of February, which makes one wonder if that mad dash back to Britain mid-month was not so much to see Pa, but to insist that Pa fix this. Some people speculate or have heard rumors that he was shouting and stamping his foot and saying, Pa, you have to fix this. That is a rumor. So there's that. Second of all, they used the near catastrophic car chase as evidence in their attempt to get this judicial review of this decision to remove their security. Third interesting fact was that the British royal family was actually on their side and motivating for them to keep their security and even trying to organize security for them in Canada. According to what I have seen, I haven't read the judgment, but there are people going through it and pointing out interesting tidbits, and this is one of them. And the chief villain in Harry's world, Sir Edward Young, seemed really to have tried very hard to explain the situation, the decision, and try and help the decision. But Harry and Meghan kept going over people's heads and kept trying to get the decision overturned and kept going behind people's backs, seemingly reading between the lines to the extent that the judgment says the claimant still fails to engage with the explanation given, meaning the explanation as to why their security was removed when they stopped being working royals and went off to America to make their fortune. So that's all very interesting. And yes, I'm blathering on. And yes, we are going to do a reading on it with the Wandering Star Tarot, because we do have a Wandering Star who does seem to think that he is an IPP, an internationally protected person, deserving of taxpayer-funded security wherever he goes and whatever he does, and also for herself and the invisible children. So we're going to do a Celtic cross, look at it from Harry's point of view. How's he feeling right now? How did he feel when he got the news? Is that why the mad dash back to the UK? Can he really not grasp the legalities of the situation? Who does he think he is? Is this going to get in the way of the Wandering Star actually wandering? Is he going to be forced to stay at home in America with those invisible children and the Instagram-loving insert swear word, wife. Not really a swear word, it's just a rude word. And it's an unkind word. And what's going to happen with the appeal? That is what we're trying to find out with the Wandering Star Tarot. There was supposed to be an Invictus Games 10-year event in London in May, and the wife and the kids were promised to be visiting, to be going with the has-been to Britain. First time that she'd set foot on that ground, apart from that visit where the Queen happened to pass away. She hasn't been back since, didn't bother to show up for the coronation. So is it going to get in the way of things like that? Is it likely that Meghan will stay at home from now on and never visit Britain again? I can hear you all sobbing into your pillows right now. Anyway, enough snark. Let's remind you. Yeah, we've got our energy out now. Let's remind you, it's tarot for fun and entertainment. It is all just speculation. It is all just my opinion. And I just read energy here. And of course, there is a disclaimer in the box below. Celtic Cross coming up. And bit of comeuppance for the has-been, but very quick. Well, he's had a month, basically. He knew about this right at the beginning of February. He knew what the judge's decision was. So he's had time to prepare. His lawyers, I'm sure, got the hairdryer out for the big bouffant hairdo and rubbing their hands with glee at more litigation. One thing I forgot to say was that I do recall the black belt barrister explaining something about costs in this matter, and that Harry wouldn't be liable, that there was some sort of cost cap, because lots of people are saying, oh, this is going to ruin them and they're going to have to pay giant amounts of money. I don't think so. I think there was some sort of cap on the costs in this matter, and he might be doing all this litigation at the taxpayer's expense. How does that make you feel? Those of you who are paying the tax for him to be doing this in the UK. Underlying energy, Two of Cups, that's our loving couple. He and the Instagram loving wife. There they are, although she hasn't managed to get herself quite back on Instagram yet. She did try, sort of. Two of Cups, the happy couple. Are they going to be separated by this tragic decision in the courts? But there they are, the Two of Cups. So I don't think we need to say more about that. Let's have a look at the situation right now. I'm really reading from has-been's point of view. The Seven of Wands in reverse. Oh, feeling so vulnerable, feeling exposed. Defensive, she in particular. Shown up as a she energy, interestingly, in this Wandering Star Tarot. Seven of Wands is about protection, is about defensive position, being able to push back against attacks. And of course, in reverse, you're so vulnerable, you're so exposed. You might be in a high-speed car chase in New York, round and round for hours, going at 0 miles an hour, while you're on your phone and sort of waving at the crowds, or your mum's on the phone and you sort of smiling for the camera. That's the central issue. That is, she doesn't feel safe. And we don't want what happened to Mummy Diana to happen to her, because they are, of course, this loving couple. And Harry will do anything, of course, to protect his wife, who is as vulnerable and as at risk as Princess Diana. So vulnerable and so at risk that they could go to Jamaica, despite the fact that there was a State Department advisory warning people not to go. She has wound down her window twice. She did it in Canada recently. She did it in London so that people could get a good shot of her, and I don't mean with a gun, with a camera. So she doesn't seem particularly concerned about her security, just saying. And it's interesting that other people are noticing it as well. So let's have a look and see what is the particular problem right now for the has-been. The Ten of Swords. Oh, he's lost. The horror. He's had a few setbacks in the court system recently. He's had to withdraw that case against the Daily Mail. It was a libel case when they said he'd been sneaky about claiming that he had offered to pay when he hadn't really, for security. Ten of Swords, ruin, defeat, backstabbing. It's the darkest hour, really, the final outrage, the final insult. Can't believe this, because the courts were supposed to smile upon all of his illegal proceedings and just wave magic wand and grant him whatever he wished, because he is, of course, a prince. Not a very bright prince, but still a prince. But this has been a major setback. I don't think just because he's announced immediately that he's going to appeal that this is not a setback. 10 of Swords is the ultimate setback and the ultimate defeat. And I'm sure he's in big trouble at home for losing this case, or the lawyers are, with that 7 of Wands sitting as the heart of this reading, the dark heart of this reading, in my opinion. So let's see what's going on behind the scenes. Was that mad rush back to Britain to get Parr to fix this and to frame the nasty judge and tell him off and send him to the tower? We got the High Priestess in reverse. It's female energy, and I do think he was sent, I was going to say on his broom, but no, I think he was sent with that High Priestess in reverse energy, which is quite a dark and dangerous energy for me when I do these royal readings. Upright, it's your intuition and female mysteries and hormones and entering the gates of paradise, even, you could say. But in reverse, it's a lot darker than that. Quite influential in a dark way. I have to pick my words very carefully. You can read between the lines and form your own opinions about what I might be alluding to. But I think there was some pressure put on him, shall we just say, with that High Priestess to get back to Britain as fast as possible. When the opening arose, sudden cancer diagnosis, jump on a plane, rush back. They can fix it. This can be solved. There's very powerful female energy coming through in this reading, because note that the Two of Cups lady is the same lady as has shown up there, holding that skull and the snake in that card. Very interesting, is it not? How the pictures on these tarot cards can tell their own tales. So, what's his goal right now? More than what's his goal, what's on his mind? And I'm coming back to this: claimant still fails to engage with the explanation given. Can't quite understand. So what does universe want to tell us about this? Can't quite grasp the process and the decision. What do we need to know about that? 10 of Pentacles for me is screaming entitlement. 10 of Pentacles, I'm royal. I belong in this family, and therefore, no matter what, I get the motorbikes, the outriders, the flashing lights, the zooming through red lights, traffic lights, knocking pedestrians over. There was an unfortunate incident with Sophie not so long ago, so that was a rather glib statement, but I'm not referencing that, just by the way. So it's a sense of entitlement that I think Prince Andrew also exhibits, that strolling along to the memorial service yesterday with a big fat grin on his face. Look at me, I'm back. It's that, unfortunately, being a member of the British royal family, and possibly any royal family, does open the door to that sense of I'm special, or even special, spelt wrong. But there it is. It's about, it says property and family and inheritance and stuff like that, but it's more in the sense of I'm here forever and you can't get rid of me. Even if I decide to leave and go and make my fortune in America, I'm still in there, in that 10 of Pentacles. He does not understand the enormity of what happened at Sandringham that day, of the document that he allegedly signed, or that was agreed and drawn up. And even though people were meticulous in their explanations, as can be seen from this judgment, if you go through it, the bits that I have seen, very clear that multiple people explained to Harry what this meant. He hasn't grasped it. So there we go. That's the 10 of Pentacles. How did he feel when he heard on the 1st of February, we speculate, that the decision had gone against him? What was his immediate thought process? Justice in reverse, how funny. That is literally, it's not fair. We must undo this this outrage. Justice card is, of course, the legal proceedings. It's about fairness, really. Equality, it says here, but fairness, not fair. This was the wrong decision. The legal process has gone awry. It's supposed to be all in my favor because I'm 10 of Pentacles. I'm royal, I'm special, or special, because I'm a prince, S-H-U-L. Can't believe it. Didn't see it coming. I think when Windows Up, Windows Down happened and off to Jamaica, and there was something else that happened, and I can't remember what. Well, just apart from her forever showing up in car parks and posing for cameras, and then suddenly selling those photos through Backgrip to the Daily Mail. Didn't really seem that worried about her security. If she was that worried about her security, we would never see her. Is that not true? So, justice in reverse, that's how he felt. Big card, big shock. Can't believe it. It's outrageous. Spa, fix this. Make them stop. Make them change their minds. No, darling boy, I can't. I'm a constitutional monarch, not a, what's the word? Despot. That's not quite the word. But anyway, has been, would love to be in charge and off with their heads. Constantly get that energy from him, Emperor energy. What's going to happen next? Is this going to stop his darling wife, Two of Cups there, the High Priestess in reverse? Is it going to stop her from showing up in Britain ever with the darling children? Wheel of Fortune. She might try her luck still. Chance it, because the Wheel of Fortune is the card of chance, gambling. So I don't think it's going to be the ultimate block. So those of you who are thinking, thank goodness we're never going to see her again in Britain, don't bet on it. Because I think she's run out of options everywhere else, even though she's apparently going to be the next Martha Stewart, Markle Stewart. That Wheel of Fortune tells me that she's going to make a play for some sort of royal role still. I think I got the exact same card in the exact same position in a reading I did fairly recently on the light royaling, the attempt at some light royaling that the Parkles were still hoping to do, despite the fact that the royals had clapped back pretty smartly Prince William's office, really, and said, no chance, never, ever, ever, never. She's going to push her luck. She's going to try it. So that broomstick might be hovering over St. Paul's in May. And if you are inclined to do some light booing while they do some light royaling, as happened last time they were at St. Paul's, do make your way there in May. And express your opinions, your free speech rights while you have them still. So how does Harry view himself in all of this? Slayer of Dragons, campaigner for justice. The mission continues. Page of Cups. Oh, this is really quite pathetic. The Page of Cups. Fun, magic, love. Nah. It's more about a sort of a plea. Help. Making that kind of. I nearly put the card over like that again because I didn't want to see it anymore. I'm doing it for love, first of all. I'm doing this for love, and I sincerely think that he believes that. Whatever is going on in their personal relationship, and I think it's about the most toxic relationship that two people have ever had. That's my personal opinion, reading cards, reading energy. But I do think that he has been convinced, High Priestess in reverse, by whatever means. And we can speculate about the means, and we have speculated on this channel about the means. He has been convinced, persuaded, that he is her knight in shining armor, and it is his duty as her husband to protect her from the same fate that met his mother. So this is that sort of plea, and that help me. I'm a poor innocent person, and she's a poor innocent woman. With that white wedding dress and that extra long veil. And they deserve love and compassion and all manner of blessings. And so it's an emotional call, offering that cup. It's cups that's got a fish in it, so it's not really appetizing, I have to say. A bit of a slippery fish too, you might say. But the cup is being offered. That he thinks that if he wails long enough and persuades and berates and tears what tufts of hair are left out of his head in court, or his lawyers do on his behalf. One has so little hair and one has so much. It's quite an interesting pair, him and his lawyer. Then eventually the judge will relent, because the judge will feel sorry for him and see the error of his ways. But that is not the way the law goes. Well, it shouldn't. It might have in Meghan's court case against the Daily Mail. It might just have. But justice in reverse, nah. So, pressure that he's under right now. This dim bulb of a prince. And we have the Hierophant in reverse, out of the royal family. That is what the Hierophant is about, kicked out. And sometimes I think it's dawning, sometimes I think it's not dawning. It's a bit of a guru kind of a vibe with this Hierophant. Hierophant is about status and position and being in the firm. And he's out of the firm. And it's going to start hurting financially, even though I don't think he's going to be liable for costs in this, all of this. I think it's going to be hurting him in other ways. That he's not a member of the royal family, he's not an IPP, he's just a regular, just Harry from now on and forevermore. Unless they can really get lucky with that Wheel of Fortune. And I think do think that they can get lucky, because the royals are floundering at the moment with so much ill health and tragedy and all the rest of it going on. So that is the pressure he's under. His hopes and fears right now, there has been. 7 of Cups in reverse, running out of options. She's there again in the background. Sometimes the hair is short and sometimes it's long. And she does have that miraculous ability to change her hair length seemingly on a whim. Like those dolls that you get and you can wind the hair in and out. And unless you decide to get the scissors and give them a good snip, as has happened in our household, the hair. 7 of Cups in reverse is running out of options, and he's worried that even though he's announced he's going to appeal in a sort of bold and brazen way, and he's going to steamroll over this judge that's dared to decide against him, maybe, just maybe, he's hit the end of the road. So what is going to happen ultimately with this thing with the appeal? What is going to happen? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I would say he's going to lose with that Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It's interesting. It could be a lady justice that decides when it goes higher up in the court hierarchy. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It's also, of course, the Queen, the late Queen, not the current Queen. Who was the one that he is thrashed out this agreement, Sandringham agreement with him, got people to explain everything to him, did try her best, actually, according to this judgment, to keep options open for him with security, didn't just cost him to the wolves, as she was later accused of doing. But Queen of Pentacles in reverse tells me a lot of things. It tells me maybe a lady judge is going to decide against him on appeal. It tells me that maybe his darling wife, 2 of Cups here, underlying energy. His darling wife might just decide that she's going to take her chances somewhere else. She does seem quite keen to take her chances with that Wheel of Fortune card in our near future, and her near future and his. But the Queen of Pentacles is the wife card, the good wife, the loyal and supportive wife, and sticks around through, for better and for worse. Not so much when she's in reverse. Might just decide to go and look elsewhere. So there it is. That's the reading. Big shock. Justice card in reverse. Can't believe it. 10 of Swords. Just painful. Betrayal by the legal system in the UK. Can't believe it, because 10 of Pentacles, it should have gone his way. 7 of Wands here, herself at the heart of it all. I'm so vulnerable. Same thing's going to happen to me as happened to Mummy. And she's setting him off Wheel of Fortune to go and try his luck or their luck. An emotional plea going on here. But I don't see it ending well for him. Which pleases my little heart. My dark heart, you might think, on days like this. But there it is. And a cricket has started to chirp, which is interesting. And that's it. I'll see you on the next one.